All right, welcome to You Don't Know Ball. Today we're going to be talking about the coaching changes going on in New Orleans. Pete Carmichael has been fired. Dobbs, I'm going to let you take this one as the resident Saints fan.
So, I think I'm trying to think how I want to pace this, but I'll start with this. I'll ask any Saints fan watching. Right. So, initially, when Pete Carmichael, when we were all, it was on the fire Pete train, because I'm going to preface what I'm about to say even with another thing. I think I might be in a little bit of a different standing on this than a lot of Saints fans. And that's fine, because I'm always one to stand on my own. I'm always one to stand on what I feel, even if a lot of people are going to say, oh, what a stupid idiot, which is probably the type of flack I'm going to get for this right here, but that's fine. Because my thing is, and hear me out, Saints fans, I've been hooed at forever, y'all. I'm on y'all side. But my thing is this. I feel like the timing of this Pete Carmichael firing is a little bit fucked. Because if this was something that they did and they pulled the trigger on this, if this was something we pulled the trigger on like 5-6 weeks ago, I would have been rejoicing. I would have been ecstatic. I would have been loving it. But then the offense genuinely was looking like one of the better offenses in the league the last 4 weeks. Derek Carr, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception, finally looking competent. And I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's see what this looks like next year. I'm willing to give this at least another season, half a season, and if it goes to shit, we're restarting everything. But it was definitely a redeeming enough end of the season that I was willing to say, you know what, I'm willing to ride out with Pete, especially knowing he's been here as long as he's been. He's been part of Super Bowl team. Should have been 2 Super Bowl teams. The man knows what he's doing, obviously, to an extent. Like, I was like, you know what, he's figured it back out. We got to give him another year, right? And now we know he's not here anymore. I feel like it's like you take almost all the progress Derek Carr just made this last year and almost erase it. Because we saw how bad it looked when Derek Carr was getting used to a new offense. And when these receivers were getting used to playing with Derek Carr in a new offense, we finally got some flow going. And then Pete's the fall guy and not Dennis Allen, whose defense was playing like fucking garbage the last fucking 4 weeks. Meanwhile, the offense was playing fine, great. The offense was genuinely playing really good football. Like, and again, a lot of Saints fans are going to be like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? Pete had to go. All right, fine. I hope you're right. I get it. I really hope you're right. All I'm saying is, for me, the timing of this, it's just, I really wish it was earlier. Because now that we saw things get going again, we are having to hope that Derek Carr can get that same chemistry going with the same receivers in a whole new offense. It scares me a little bit.
So here's what I'll say, Dobbs. Like, coming from like the outside and like being like, oh God, I just scratched my eye. Being a Bears fan is like kind of like similar situations. Like, I think we both feel that like retaining Dennis Allen, retaining Matt Eberflus were like poor choices, and getting rid. And obviously, I was ready to get rid of Getsy. Like, I think he had to go, like ROC, and I think it's like very annoying when teams don't cut bait under like the guise of continuity, because when you look at it, how many teams and how many times have teams kept a coach to a year too long, and then they're like, oh, like, we're not sure if he's the guy, and they keep him, and then it works out. Like, how often does that happen? Like, realistically, like, when is the last time that happened?
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because I've been wanting to bring this up for a while, and that I'll be thinking of that point when we're not here, we're not recording, and it just slips my mind. No, I'm really glad you reminded me, because that was what I wanted to ask all year about any of these teams that, like, or anybody wants to hold on to. Even, it doesn't have to always even be a coach. It can be players, too. We can even apply this to players. How often does it happen? If the writing's on the wall, how often did they come back, erase the writing, and change the narrative?
Very rarely.
1 out of...
And then
I
it's like,
couldn't put it into a number.
It's almost like a wasted year. And, like, it's weird because the Saints, for points scored, they're 9th out of 32, and points against, they're 8th out of 32. And it's like, obviously, context will matter. Like, those numbers aren't, like, indicative of, like, how the whole season went. But what you're saying, like, with Derek Carr, like, kind of getting used to a new offense and him taking time, like, obviously it takes time, but I guess my thing is, like, is Derek Carr the best quarterback in the division? Is Dennis Allen? Like, this is what I started looking at recently. Is your quarterback the best quarterback in the division? Is your defense one of the best in the division? And is your head coach the best in the division? If all those answers aren't 2 or above, you got to make changes. If you're not the best in your division, how do you expect to be the best in the NFL?
No, that's very true. I think so. That's why, yeah. You know what? The way that you got to look at it, if you're a Saints fan, you kind of give me a little bit more clarity there. Is the reality of the situation is, even if this isn't the exact right thing that had to happen, something had to happen. And even if this wasn't the exact something in the moment, this something will lead to more somethings that eventually will be the right something. But if we just sat on knowing the not right something without trying to make changes, we were just as fucked. So I guess that's a good way to look at it.
I mean, technically, Dennis Allen might be the second best coach in the division, considering there's no coaches for the Panthers and the Falcons right now. But, yeah, I mean, kind of going off what you were talking about, like, it's just hard to look at the Saints where they're at, and, like, I just don't see, like, the drastic upwards trajectory of the Saints with what they have around them right now.
Well, so that's the thing is, I'll tell you from the Saints fan perspective, like, the narrative around what the decisions have been and what's going to happen is they've been very big on culture. Like, everyone's in, man. Like, we got down with the players. We got down with the staff. We said this is a family. Like, you're either part of this family or not type shit. But it's like, man, I've been hearing the same shit now forever. Like, and if it's another year of the same shit as last year, we're a family and we're all in. But then halfway through the year, or the first time that we choke a bad game, everybody just looks like they have their head in their fucking ass and they're on the sidelines, like half in, half out. Motherfuckers look like they're pissed, but they don't want to be vocal about it. That was this year in a nutshell. Every Saints fan would agree.
Well, I think the issue, too, like, if you look at the end of the year, like when they called the victory formation and let Jamal score. And now, do I think they should have went into victory formation? No, but do I really think it's that big of a deal because the game was already 41-17?
Well, that was definitely something that got blown out of proportion.
Like, it got blown out of proportion. Like, Jameis made the call. I guess Jameis made the call. The team made the call. It wasn't Dennis Allen's call. But my thing is, if you're in a culture where your players feel like it's all right to go against what you say on the field, and then at the end of the day, you go out and basically apologize to the other team, your division rival, that you're sorry for what your players did.
And
like,
everyone knew he was getting fired besides Dennis Allen, apparently. Because that's what makes it way, way worse. Like, bro, everyone in their fucking mama knew Art Smith was out. And you got this dude apologizing?
Like,
what the fuck?
Like, are you worried about the Falcons running up the score on you next year? Like, bro, like, who gives a fuck? Like, support your players. They obviously don't respect you enough to follow what you're saying.
I was going to say, I'll even spin it like this, because this is what I've been thinking about recently a lot, too. Dude, let's call it for what it is. Bro, I'm going to be, and this is my thing. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this is my personal belief. Dude, I believe there have been so many times throughout the course of history where something gets called and the player goes, man, fuck that. You know, like, I'm running my own shit or something along those lines or whatever the case you want to put it. The difference is the coach was smart enough to not go tell the whole fucking national media that his players disobeyed him. But Dennis Allen is too fucking stupid, apparently, to not realize he can't get in front of the goddamn mic and tell everybody that that's what happened. Because none of us would have known if Dennis Allen was just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe not my best decision, but we wanted to ride for the city, and we knew it was the last game of the year. All you had to say. None of us would have known that you got disobeyed, and it wouldn't have been the story it is. But now you look like a clown. See how that works? So I think that's what makes it even worse. Is that it's not like it's the first time it's happened, but it's the first time the coach was dumb enough to fucking say, "Yep, my players don't respect me enough right now."
He was very tone deaf in that situation. That is what I have a lot of issue with. Is like, I understand like if people like make the wrong decision or choose the wrong choice, like that you don't agree with or like that you think is the wrong choice. But I also think there is a very valuable asset in like understanding like what the vibe in the room is, like reading the room. Like, you should be able to read the room and know what is right and wrong to say, whether you believe it or not, because when you come off as tone deaf, I think it really like is hard for people to ever kind of like support you, you know? And it's just like, I think running into next year with Dennis Allen is a big mistake, and one that come week 9, 10, if the Saints aren't rolling or winning the division, it's going to be, you're just going to have to start over anyway.
No, and so I'll say this for final thoughts, because I wish I could give a shout out to the man's full name. I don't know how to pronounce his last name because I've never heard it pronounced, and it's one of those long last names. I'll say this. His name is Chris R., because he does Saints Twitter, he does Saints reporting. He's been good at that for a while. I've been following him for a while. Good, charismatic, funny stuff, but also good information. But what he said, and he always has said and keeps saying, and I can't agree more, it's literally the most blatantly obvious shit on earth, is that all the Saints are with Dennis Allen is substitute taught vibes. It's like the best substitute teacher, where the whole class is kind of excited to have him, but nobody's going to fucking respect him. That's all that he is. They're excited to have him, but when it comes time to listen to him, they're not going to give a shit. That's literally all the Saints are right now.
Well, hopefully Saints fans can... Hopefully they have a good draft. Hopefully they have a good free agency.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope Dennis Allen comes back and proves me wrong. Please, Dennis, please.
But
I can't take another year of this shit.
All right, well, I'll let you close it out then. Go ahead. I'll let you...
D.I., I can't take another year of this shit. Fix it. And Mickey, if it doesn't get fixed, oh, man, you're on the hot seat next.
All right, well, this has been You Don't Know Ball. Leave a comment telling something... Oh, God. Leave a comment letting us know what you think the Saints should do for next year, if they should keep Dennis Allen, if they should fire Dennis Allen, how you feel about the situation. Leave a like, subscribe. We're working to bring you content every single day. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching.